Ow! My tooth hurts so much, but I'm scared of the dentist. I wonder if there's anything that will make me less scared of the dentist.
Well, do I have the perfect solution for you? Come right this way, right this way. I'm going to be teaching you and everyone else about nitrous oxide. It may sound daunting at first, but there's a much more pleasant name known as laughing gas. And what laughing gas includes is an oxygen with 3 lone pairs, single bonded to 1 nitrogen, which is then triple bonded to another nitrogen with 1 lone pair. And the oxygen has 1 negative polar charge, and the middle nitrogen including 1 positive polar charge. This molecule is also known as an inorganic molecule, which contains a bond length of 119 picometers of the nitrogen-oxygen bonds and 113 picometer of the triple bonded nitrogens.
That sounds great and all, but what even is nitrous oxide?
Well, if you want me to teach you more, I can teach you about the physical and chemical properties. But in order to do that, I'm going to lead you to our lead chemist, Dung. Dung, take it right away.
The properties of laughing gas nitrous oxide. The first of the physical property of nitrous oxide is a colorless gas and odorless. It has a sweet-smelling and pleasant odor. It becomes liquid when compressed in a cylinder. A full cylinder of nitrous oxide will reach about 550 psi. It's also a neutral molecule. Nitrous oxide is non-flammable and has a greater vapor density than the air. Therefore, it supports the combustion of oxygen. The chemical property of nitrous oxide is a powerful greenhouse gas that's harmful to our planet when it released into the atmosphere. Therefore, it contributes almost 300 times more to harmful climate change than one molecule of carbon dioxide. Nitrous oxide also depletes the ozone layer. High UV exposure, a type of radiation that leads to protein degradation that can harm human cells, leading to skin cancer and other health issues. It can damage the Earth's natural resources, such as earth and bodies of water.
How could something like that possibly be safe?
Oh, well, in order to talk about that, I actually did a video of my colleague detailing these side effects, which is right here.
Oh, okay. The side effects of laughing gas stem from its main effect, which is oxygen deprivation. This causes dizziness,
As well as dissociation,
loss of balance,
impaired memory and cognition,
weakness in the legs.
and weakness in the legs, yes. Thank you so much, Professor Dung, for that explanation on the physical and chemical properties of nitrous oxide. I will now go on to talk about the history and the eventual development of it being used as an anesthetic. Here we have, we have Joseph Priestley in 1772 first synthesized nitrous oxide. And then we had Humphrey Davis, who first started using it in experiments. But it was a very dangerous endeavor because he inhaled it by himself with no caution at all. And what he began to feel was this analgesic, which was pain relief, as well as psychotropic properties, which helped relieve his anxiety and feel a sense of euphoria. But it wasn't until Horace Wells in 1844 where we actually saw it being used in dentistry. So today, laughing gas is commonly used for its anxiolytic properties. In the beginning, it was used for pain relief, but now there are more local anesthetics for procedures. So now it is mainly used to relieve anxiety during procedures. And now I will pass it on to my colleague Shaelin, who will talk about the mechanism of nitrous oxide.
So what's really going on when you inhale nitrous oxide? A concentration of approximately 0.3 ppm is administered through a mask in order to relieve anxiety and serve as a mild anesthetic. But there are multiple pathways that have been found to be involved in causing these effects. First, let's go over the concept of ligand-gated ion channels. Here we can see a cell membrane as well as a generic allosteric binding site. When nitrous oxide binds to this site, a channel will activate and have an effect depending on the receptors that it will bind to. Drugs have an anesthetic effect when there is a decrease in excitatory output, as this would lead to a decrease in neuronal activity. When you inhale the nitrous oxide, it diffuses into your bloodstream and acts through non-competitive NMDA, or glutamatergic N-methyl D-aspartate inhibition in the central nervous system. Non-competitive inhibition means that the nitrous oxide will bind to this allosteric binding site, which will lead to the inhibition of these NMDA receptors. Inhibiting the firing of these neurons to the central nervous system is what leads to the anesthetic effects that you feel. Nitrous oxide's analgesic effects are a result of nitrous oxide stimulating your brain to release endogenous opioid peptides, which activate opioid receptors and descending GABA pathways that regulate pain receptors in the spine. Lastly, studies have found that the activation of GABA receptors are responsible for nitrous oxide's anxiolytic effects as well. Nitrous oxide will bind to the benzodiazepine binding site, which is also an allosteric binding site, as we discussed above. When this happens, neurons are less likely to fire, and this will leave a patient feeling calm.
Wow, who knew that there was such a safe and helpful molecule that can help ease our pain without any life-threatening side effects?
Of course, glad we could help.